All right, so this is a review of the company called Lashback. A little background about me. I've been in internet marketing since 2005, mainly with SEO. That's been my main gig, but I also do a good amount of paid advertising and all that. Right now, I have an SEO agency. I do a lot of affiliate marketing. I'm one of the largest precious metals affiliate in the world, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to use Lashback, the brand alert feature. As you can see, I'm logged in right here. Here's my account, which I've used very little, and I'll explain why. So the whole purpose of signing up for this was to be able to go in and reverse engineer people who are sending emails in the precious metal space, right? I wanted to see what they were sending, who they were sending it to. That way I could possibly take emails that are working very well and email contacts I already have, or I can see which contacts are being emailed and rent out their list to do my own emails for them, in my own words. So that was the whole point of using this tool here, the Lashback brand alert tool. And at first it was decent. Like I was getting some pretty good data from it and I was somewhat happy from it. But before I get into the tool, I want to go back to the experience that I first had with this company. So I got on a call and I figured the price would be pretty high for Lashback. And the tool that I got, the brand alert tool at the level I'm at, which is the lowest level, is $1,500 a month, which is fine. If it's doing what I need it to do, then I'm willing to pay that. So I had my consultation with the guy. He showed me how to do everything. But to me, he did not make clear at all that there was a year contract on the tool. And I wasn't aware of that. He sent the contract over, and I'm going to be honest with you, I did sign it without even reading too much into it. So I didn't see the year contract in there as well. And I signed the contract, sent it back, and then I get the first bill, and it was like $3,800 or like $4,200, something like that. I'm like, hold on. I thought that this was $1,500 a month. Like, what's this bill for? And they said, oh, that's the prorated amount for your first 3 months. I'm like, I don't want it for 3 months. I just want it for 1 month to start. I want to make sure I like it, and then from there, we'll move on. And they said, oh, you signed a year contract. And I said, well, I wasn't aware of that. I said, so before we move anywhere, I don't want this tool for a year. I want to use it first for a month, and then if we like it, well, of course, I'll possibly use it for many years to come. And they were adamant with, no, you signed a year contract and that's it. And I'm like, hold on. Like, I'm telling you that that's not how you treat people, right? Like, I run an agency and I run a coaching program. If I have a high-end mastermind program where it's 25 grand. If someone signed up for the first payment for the first month and it was, $2,500 and they said, hold on, I thought this was just for 1 month. I'd be like, well, I'm not going to make you pay for the whole year. Like, if that was a misunderstanding, even if you signed a contract, I feel that's just basic human, like just being a good person or a good company. Like, he didn't understand, even though he signed the contract. Like let's let it go. And I even paid the first 3 months. I said, look, I'll pay the first 3 months. It was a prorated amount. It was like for 2.5 months. And I said, I'll pay it. And even if I don't use it, which I haven't been using it at all, I'll pay that first 3 months. And then if I don't like it, maybe we can work something out for last year. And the guy was like, well, just, schedule a call with me. I guess the guy in charge of finance, his name's Mike. He's like, just schedule a call and we'll deal. Maybe this isn't even a problem. We'll deal with them. Like, use the tool. Maybe you'll like it and you'll be on for the year. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. So I use it a little more than just, I ran out of data. Like, the tool's not giving me nearly as much data as I thought. So I haven't been using it at all. So our meeting comes up and I come on, I told him, look, I'm just kind of limited on data. And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You signed a year contract. I'm like, I told you the day I signed this and the first bill I got that, I wasn't aware of that. You guys are like, oh, nope, sign the contract, sign a year contract. That's it. You're locked in. I don't look at that as a good business practice for me. I guess if you look at the legal matters, I guess somewhat legally I could be looked at as I should carry out that contract. But again, as someone who's ran a business for this type of thing in high dollar amounts, if someone did that and they reached out and they're like, I didn't understand, I'd be like, okay, look, we'll change it, or you made your first 3 months payment, good to go. He's trying to tell me this says, we use resources and all this, but I'm like, I'm not using the tool, so how am I using any resources? He says the software company, they have specific resources they need. I'm like, but I'm not using the resources because I'm not using the tool. So for me, as far as the experience with the company, it's been very bad. Okay, that I don't believe that the year contract was explained to me at all. okay, very clearly in the least. If he did in the initial consultation, he glazed over it like crazy. It was somewhat clear in the contract when I went back and reread it, but of course it's just in one portion of the contract. My fault for not reading that. 100% take responsibility for that. Should have read it more in depth. But when someone reaches out and they tell you right away, like within days of signing up, hey, I didn't realize it was in a year, and you're like, sorry, gotcha. That's how I look at what they did to me. It's like, gotcha for your year. And now I'm supposed to be paying 18 grand for a tool that I'm not even using. That's just not a good company to me. All right. As far as how the tool works and the feedback on if it's a good tool or not, I guess it depends on what you need it for and all that. For what I need it for, I was running out of data very quickly, right? It's like I would do my searches and I would get the same emails over and over. I just wasn't getting the data I needed, right? So, I mean, I used it like a few times and I was like out of data for what I wanted. And that's what I wanted to avoid when I signed up. I said, that's why I only wanted to do a month to start. I was willing to pay $1,500 for a month because I wanted to see how much data was there. Can I keep getting new data? And I'm not. The data's not there for me. So one thing I want to tell you about Lashback, number one, they're not personable people, okay? They're not willing to work with you. If you sign the contract, they're going to try to lock your ass in for the whole time, and they're not going to let you out no matter what. They don't care about that. I don't think they're good people. I don't think they're a good company because of that. As far as the tool goes, I think it could be a good tool for certain people. I got to be honest there. For what I needed, it's not really what the data wasn't there. Okay, so overall review of the company, horrible. As far as being a company and being personable and caring about their customers, I would say not good at all in my experience. As far as the tool goes, as far as the, how good it is, for me, it wasn't great. Like, it did give me a tiny bit of data that I used, but not a ton. Nowhere near $1,500, let alone $18,000 worth. But, again, I guess I signed the contract, so I'm in for a year. And that's where Lashback is with me. So right now I have my legal team kind of reaching out to their legal team, and they're going to deal with it from here because I told them I'd rather pay 50 grand in lawyer fees than pay them 18 grand for a tool that I'm not going to use when they're going out and treating people like this. But I think the important thing here is just getting the word out that if you're signing up for Lashback, you have to be very careful as far as knowing you're in a year contract and they're not going to work with you. These are not personable people in my experience. I did not have a very good experience with it, and that is the review.